We all face moments when we feel like we're running on empty physically, mentally, or emotionally. Life throws curveballs, losses, failures, disappointments, and during those times, strength can feel like a distant memory. But here's the truth. Strength isn't the absence of weakness. It's what you discover and build in the middle of it. Being strong when you feel weak is not about pretending everything's okay. It's about taking one small step forward, even when your legs are shaking. It's about acknowledging your struggle without letting it define you. It's resilience, and it's something we all have the power to develop. The first and most important step toward being strong when you feel weak is to fully acknowledge your feelings. It might sound simple, but many people struggle with this because society often tells us to hide pain and put on a brave face. However, denying or suppressing how you truly feel only prolongs your suffering. To be genuinely strong, you must allow yourself to be vulnerable. Recognize that feeling weak, sad, or overwhelmed is part of being human. When you acknowledge your feelings without shame, you give yourself permission to experience your emotions honestly. You don't have to pretend to be okay when you are not. This honest recognition is not a sign of defeat. It's a powerful act of self-awareness. It opens the door to healing and growth, because you can only work on what you accept. Ignoring or minimizing your emotions might seem like a way to protect yourself, but in reality, it often causes deeper wounds. It's important to understand that feeling weak is not the same as being weak. Weakness is a state, often temporary and influenced by circumstances, physical fatigue, emotional stress, or mental exhaustion. Being weak sometimes doesn't define your character or your potential. Instead, it highlights your current reality and signals that you need care and patience, much like a muscle needs rest to grow stronger. Many people fear judgment from others or themselves when they admit to feeling weak. This fear can come from cultural expectations or personal standards about what it means to be strong. But the truth is, everyone experiences moments of vulnerability. It's normal and natural. By facing your feelings honestly, you dismantle the stigma and shame that keep you isolated and stuck. Self-acceptance plays a huge role here. When you acknowledge your feelings without shame, you practice accepting yourself fully, the good, the bad, and the uncomfortable. This acceptance nurtures emotional resilience because it stops the inner battle. Instead of fighting yourself or feeling guilty for how you feel, you create space for self, kindness, and understanding. You might find it helpful to give your feelings a voice. Journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or simply naming your emotions aloud can help you process them. When you identify exactly what you're feeling, sadness, frustration, fear, or exhaustion, you reduce the power those feelings have over you. Naming feelings is like shining a light in a dark room. Suddenly, the space becomes less intimidating. Another important aspect of acknowledging your feelings without shame is recognizing the difference between feeling and acting. Feeling weak or overwhelmed doesn't mean you have to stay stuck there. It means you are aware of your current state and can choose your next steps mindfully. The power lies in honoring your emotions while also knowing they don't have to control your entire story. Finally, remind yourself that this process takes time. Some days it might be easier to acknowledge your feelings. Other days it might be very hard. That's okay. What matters is your commitment to show up for yourself authentically, no matter what. Strength begins with this courageous act of embracing your truth, even when it feels messy and uncomfortable. When you feel weak, one of the most overwhelming experiences is the sense that everything around you is spinning out of control. Life's uncertainties, pressures, and challenges can make you feel powerless and stuck. In those moments, it's crucial to shift your focus away from what you cannot change and instead direct your attention to what you can control. This shift in mindset is not only practical but deeply empowering because it puts you back in the driver's seat of your life. Focusing on what you can control starts with recognizing the difference between external circumstances and your internal responses. While you may not be able to immediately change a difficult situation, whether it's a job loss, a health issue, or a strained relationship, you do have control over how you respond to it. This means you can decide how to think about the problem, how to manage your emotions, and what actions to take next. It's in this space of choice that your true power lies. When you concentrate on what is within your control, you reduce feelings of helplessness and anxiety. Instead of wasting energy worrying about things that are outside your influence, you conserve your strength for concrete steps you can take. This can be as simple as setting small daily goals, establishing routines, or practicing self-care habits that restore your energy and mindset. These actions build momentum, helping you regain confidence and stability. A key part of focusing on controllable aspects is taking responsibility for your own mindset. You may not control every external factor, but you can choose your attitude and perspective. This doesn't mean forcing yourself to be positive all the time or ignoring legitimate pain, but rather consciously deciding to look for solutions, lessons, or opportunities in adversity. It's about cultivating resilience by nurturing a hopeful and proactive outlook. Another powerful strategy is to prioritize your efforts. When everything feels like a crisis, it's easy to become overwhelmed and freeze. Instead, make a list of issues or tasks you face, then identify which ones you have the ability to influence or improve. Tackle those first, step by step. This approach breaks down daunting problems into manageable pieces and gives you a sense of accomplishment, no matter how small. It's also helpful to remember that control doesn't mean perfection or instant fixes. You might not be able to solve all problems immediately, and some situations will remain uncertain for a time. But focusing on what you can control means engaging in intentional actions, even small ones that gradually improve your condition. Over time, these small efforts accumulate, helping you reclaim a sense of order and hope. Sometimes focusing on control means letting go of the need to control everything. Paradoxically, surrendering to the things beyond your influence is itself a form of control over your stress and your emotional well-being. Acceptance of uncertainty can free you from unnecessary mental struggle and open you up to adaptability and creativity in finding new paths forward. Lastly, focusing on what you can control reinforces your self-trust. When you act intentionally, based on your values and circumstances, you strengthen your belief in your ability to handle difficulties. This confidence becomes a foundation of strength you can return to whenever life feels overwhelming. In this way, controlling your focus is a daily practice that shapes not only your immediate response, but also your long-term resilience. When you feel weak, one of the hardest things to do can be asking for help. Many people believe that needing assistance is a sign of failure or inadequacy, but in reality, reaching out for support is one of the strongest things you can do. It takes courage to admit that you cannot carry everything alone, and it shows self-awareness and humility. Recognizing your limits and seeking help when needed is a vital part of resilience and growth. Asking for help breaks the isolation that often accompanies feelings of weakness. When you struggle silently, problems can feel overwhelming and insurmountable. But when you share your burdens with others, whether friends, family, mentors, or professionals, you open the door to understanding, empathy, and practical support. This connection reminds you that you are not alone and that others care about your well-being. Many people fear judgment or rejection when they think about asking for help. This fear can keep them trapped in suffering, unable to move forward. However, it's important to remember that everyone needs help sometimes, and most people are willing to lend a hand if they know you need it. Vulnerability creates bonds, and asking for support often deepens relationships rather than weakening them. It can be helpful to start small when asking for help. You don't have to share everything at once or seek out professional help right away. Sometimes simply talking to a trusted friend or writing down what you're going through can lighten the load. These small steps build your confidence in seeking support and gradually expand your network of care. Understanding that help comes in many forms is also important. Support doesn't always mean solving your problems for you. Sometimes it means having someone listen without judgment, offering encouragement, or helping you see things from a different perspective. Other times it might be practical assistance like helping with tasks or connecting you to resources. Being open to receiving different kinds of help enriches your ability to cope. Asking for help is also a way of practicing self-compassion. It's a recognition that you deserve care and kindness just like anyone else. When you reach out, you honor your own humanity and your need for connection and healing. This can counteract the negative self-talk that often accompanies feelings of weakness and build a more nurturing inner dialogue. It's crucial to remember that help is a two-way street. When you allow others to support you, you also give them the chance to express their care and compassion. This mutual exchange strengthens communities and builds a network of resilience where people feel safe to be honest about their struggles. Finally, the more you ask for help, the easier it becomes. Over time, you'll learn that seeking support isn't a sign of weakness or dependency, but an essential skill for navigating life's challenges. It empowers you to face difficulties with greater confidence and reminds you that strength is not about doing everything alone, but about knowing when to reach out. When you feel weak, one of the most important but often overlooked sources of strength is the way you talk to yourself. The internal dialogue you have, the words you choose in your mind, can either lift you up or tear you down. Many of us are our own harshest critics, especially in moments of vulnerability. Learning to speak kindly to yourself is a vital practice that fosters resilience and self-compassion. Negative self-talk can be incredibly damaging. It reinforces feelings of weakness, failure, and hopelessness. When you tell yourself things like "I'm not good enough," "I can't do this," or "I always mess up," you deepen your pain and make it harder to move forward. These thoughts often become self-fulfilling prophecies, shaping your emotions and actions in ways that trap you in cycles of doubt and despair. On the other hand, speaking kindly to yourself means treating yourself with the same compassion you would offer a close friend who is struggling. Imagine what you would say to a loved one who is feeling down, likely words of encouragement, reassurance, and patience. When you apply that same kindness inward, you create a mental environment that supports healing and strength rather than self-judgment. This shift in self-talk doesn't happen overnight. It requires mindfulness and intentional practice. The first step is to become aware of your inner dialogue. Notice the tone and content of your thoughts. When you catch yourself being critical or harsh, pause and gently challenge those thoughts. Ask yourself if you would say such things to someone you care about, and consider more compassionate alternatives. Replacing negative thoughts with kind ones doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means acknowledging difficulties while choosing to speak to yourself in a way that encourages growth and hope. For example, instead of saying, "I failed," try saying, "This didn't go as planned, but I'm learning and I'll keep trying." This reframing helps build resilience and motivation. Affirmations can be a helpful tool in cultivating kind self-talk. Phrases like, "I am enough," "I am doing my best," or "I am worthy of love and support" may feel awkward at first, but repeating them consistently can rewire your brain toward positivity and self-acceptance. Writing these affirmations down or saying them aloud daily can strengthen this habit. It's also important to be patient with yourself during this process. Sometimes old patterns of self-criticism are deeply ingrained and may resurface, especially in stressful moments. Instead of feeling frustrated, recognize that change takes time and that every effort you make to speak kindly to yourself is a step toward greater emotional strength. Ultimately, speaking kindly to yourself nurtures a foundation of inner safety and trust. When you are gentle with yourself, you reduce the inner conflict that drains your energy and replace it with encouragement that fuels perseverance. This self-compassion becomes a source of strength you can draw from, especially when you feel weak and vulnerable. When you feel weak, the temptation to stay still and wait for strength to come to you can be strong. You might think that you need to feel better or be fully ready before taking any steps forward. But the truth is, action itself can be a powerful catalyst for regaining strength. Taking even the smallest step forward can break the cycle of inertia and remind you that you are capable of moving through difficult times. Small actions matter because they create momentum. When everything feels heavy and overwhelming, it's easy to get stuck in a place of inaction, which often deepens feelings of helplessness and despair. By contrast, choosing to do something, even something simple like getting out of bed, making a healthy meal, or going for a short walk, sends a message to your mind and body that you are not giving up. This momentum can gradually build up and lead to bigger, more impactful actions. Action also helps you regain a sense of control. When you are feeling weak, it may seem like circumstances are dictating your life. Taking steps, no matter how small, reminds you that you still have choices and the power to influence your situation. This reclaiming of agency can boost your confidence and reduce feelings of helplessness. It's important to recognize that taking action doesn't mean you need to have everything figured out or that you must tackle every problem at once. Instead, focus on manageable tasks that are realistic given your current energy and resources. Breaking down goals into smaller, achievable parts makes progress more attainable and less intimidating. Sometimes the hardest part of taking action is overcoming the fear of failure or rejection. You might worry that your efforts won't make a difference or that you'll disappoint yourself or others. But remember that every step, regardless of outcome, is a learning opportunity. Even when things don't go as planned, taking action shows courage and determination. Another benefit of taking action is that it can shift your focus from negative thoughts to practical engagement. When you're actively doing something, your mind is less likely to ruminate on worries and doubts. This engagement can improve your mood and help reduce stress, providing a natural boost to your overall well-being. Taking action also fosters a sense of accomplishment. Each small success, no matter how minor, contributes to building your self-esteem and resilience. These wins serve as evidence that you are capable and resourceful, which strengthens your belief in yourself during tough times. Finally, taking action, even small step, teaches you that strength is built over time, not all at once. It's a gradual process of consistent effort, patience, and self-compassion. By committing to moving forward, you create a foundation for lasting strength that will carry you through challenges now and in the future. When you feel weak, it can be incredibly difficult to see any purpose or meaning behind your pain and challenges. The struggle can feel endless, unfair, and overwhelming. However, finding meaning in your difficulties is a powerful way to transform your experience from one of suffering to one of growth and hope. Meaning doesn't erase pain, but it gives it context and value, helping you endure and rise above it. Meaning often emerges when you look beyond the immediate hardship to what the experience is teaching you. Every challenge, no matter how painful, carries lessons. These lessons might be about your limits, your resilience, or the importance of things you may have taken for granted before. When you consciously seek these lessons, you shift your perspective from victimhood to active learning. This process of finding meaning can help you feel less alone. Knowing that others have faced similar struggles and have grown stronger because of them creates a sense of connection and shared humanity. Reading stories, listening to others' experiences, or reflecting on those who inspire you can remind you that struggle is a common part of life and not a sign of personal failure. Finding meaning also nurtures a sense of purpose. Purpose gives you a reason to keep going, even when the weight of your struggles feels unbearable. It can be as simple as wanting to be a better parent, friend, or community member, or it might be about using your experience to help others who face similar challenges. Having a why gives you the motivation to endure what. This meaning-making process is deeply personal. What resonates as meaningful for one person might be different for another. It requires introspection and patience to uncover what your struggle is teaching you or how it is shaping you. Sometimes it helps to write, meditate, or talk with a trusted person to explore these deeper insights. It's important to recognize that finding meaning in struggle doesn't mean pretending your pain is good or minimizing it. Rather, it means acknowledging your pain fully and then choosing to see what positive growth can come from it. This mindset fosters resilience by helping you integrate your experiences into your life story in a way that empowers you. Over time, this perspective can transform the way you see challenges. Instead of fearing difficulties or trying to avoid them at all costs, you might begin to see them as opportunities for development and strength. This doesn't make struggle easy, but it makes it more bearable and purposeful. Ultimately, finding meaning in struggle helps you reclaim your narrative. It allows you to take ownership of your journey and see yourself not just as a sufferer, but as a survivor and a learner. This sense of meaning becomes a powerful source of inner strength when you feel weak and lost. When you feel weak, it's easy to believe that your current pain or struggle will last forever. The weight of despair, anxiety, or exhaustion can feel like an unending burden with no relief in sight. But one of the most comforting and powerful truths to hold on to is that this too shall pass. No matter how dark or difficult things seem right now, they are temporary, and change is inevitable. The idea that hardship is transient has been echoed in many cultures and philosophies throughout history. It reminds us that life is cyclical and that difficult seasons are part of a larger rhythm. Just as joyful times come and go, so do moments of struggle. Holding on to this truth can bring hope and patience when you feel trapped in weakness. Believing that your current challenges are temporary doesn't mean dismissing or ignoring your pain. It means recognizing that what you are experiencing now is one chapter of your story, not the whole book. This perspective helps you maintain a broader view and resist being consumed by the immediacy of your difficulties. This awareness encourages resilience by reminding you to pace yourself. When you know that tough times won't last forever, you can give yourself permission to rest and recover without feeling defeated. It's okay to slow down, take breaks, and seek support while trusting that strength and better days are ahead. This too shall pass also inspires action grounded in hope. When you believe in change, you are more likely to take steps toward healing and growth, no matter how small. Hope fuels perseverance, helping you move forward even when progress feels slow or invisible. Sometimes remembering that this too shall pass means holding on through uncertainty. Not knowing exactly when or how things will improve can be difficult, but trusting in the process can bring peace. Faith in change allows you to endure difficult moments without losing sight of your inner strength. This mindset can also help you cope with setbacks. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to fall into despair or give up. But remembering that even setbacks are temporary encourages you to try again and believe in the possibility of renewal and success. Ultimately, embracing the truth that this too shall pass nurtures patience and compassion for yourself. It reminds you that feeling weak is a phase, not a permanent condition. With time, support, and self-care, you will find your strength again and move forward into a new season of life. In closing, remember that strength is not about never feeling weak, it's about how you respond when those moments come. It's about acknowledging your feelings, focusing on what you can control, asking for help, speaking kindly to yourself, taking action, finding meaning in your struggles, and trusting that this too shall pass. Each of these steps is a powerful choice you make to reclaim your power and move forward. Being strong doesn't mean you have to do it all perfectly or alone. True strength is a journey filled with ups and downs, patience, and compassion for yourself. So when you feel weak, don't despair. Lean into these practices and know that within you lies an incredible well of resilience waiting to be tapped. You have what it takes to overcome. You are not alone. And the strength you seek is already growing inside you. Step by step, moment by moment, thank you,